Welcome to Created Healthy. I'm Dawn Combs. It's a common idea that God gave us everything we need in nature, but do we believe it enough to walk that out in truth? Often the very same people who say this go looking for answers on how to use food and medicine from man-made sources. Everything man creates comes with a user's manual. Why would God be any different? I challenge you to join me in seeking revelation about our body, mind, soul, and spirit health by digging into His written word and in practicing pure science in the visible world of His creation. Do you ask for help when you need it? Are you good at delegating or reaching out when you need a lifeline? Here in Luke 8 through 11 is a really great story with Jesus asleep on a boat and a storm that has blown up that I want to take a deeper look at for those of you who are still struggling with trusting other people, particularly God. When you are struggling with a health problem, with any sort of problem, but as we're focusing this podcast on health, whenever you are needing help, are you reaching out and asking God for healing? Are you asking God for the answers? Are you asking for how to get out of the situation you're in? Okay, so the story is Jesus falls asleep while they are sailing. They're sailing from one place to another, and He's with His disciples. Now, there are 12 at this point. He has assigned 12 special disciples that are the apostles. But often as we're reading through the Gospels, we're seeing just the referring name of disciples. There were a lot of disciples. Disciples were followers and students, people that were hanging out with Jesus, learning from Him. They saw something really important. Maybe they didn't quite fully get it. The 12 apostles were set aside as people that would become teachers, that would become preachers of His message, and people that would understand who He really was. But there's still this sort of questioning throughout the areas that Jesus is traveling, even amongst His disciples. People don't fully understand that He is God, that He is the fulfillment of the prophecy. So He's on a boat, He goes to sleep. We're told that there's a fierce gale that blows up. And so this is, maybe the wind comes out of nowhere, but everybody else is awake and they're distressed and scared, and the wind comes up and the wind keeps going and going, and eventually it's causing waves to crash over the sides of the boat, and the boat is beginning to get swamped, and they're in danger of going down. And with this intense danger, it has gone on and on and on and on. Finally, it is so critical that they wake Jesus and they say, "Master, we're dying, we're perishing." And Jesus gets up, He rebukes the wind and the waves, it calms immediately, and He turns on them and He says, "Where is your faith?" This was like a really cool story for me to read this week. I think it's so important for us to get what is happening here and to see ourselves. How many times have you been in the boat, terrified, and you're bailing water, you grabbed a bucket, God helps those who help themselves, and you're bailing water, and maybe you're not even asking anybody else in the boat, you're jumping in there because you're a leader and you can get things done. And Jesus is asleep in the boat right there with you. He's right there. All you have to do is ask. I think some of us may look at this situation, if we were one of the disciples, maybe we didn't wake Jesus because we didn't want to bother Him. Maybe when it first started, the wind didn't really seem all that bad, and really we shouldn't be scared I mean, we're adults. It's silly. Wind happens all the time. It's just silly for us to bother Jesus with us being scared about the wind. And then once the waves come, it's just a silly, we're just being silly. And we don't want to bother anybody with our problems or with our fear. Jesus wants us to bother him right away. He wants us to bother him before the waves start filling the boat. When we first have a symptom of something wrong with us, and we don't really have a lot of problems, but there's a little something going on, he wants us to turn to him and say, hey, I'm scared. I need help. What can I do about this? How can I fix this? Please help me. Please take care of this. Show me what to do. He wants us to do that. He's right there. But we either don't wake him because we don't want to bother him, or we don't wake him because we think we can handle it on our own. And both of those attitudes is going to cause our boat to sink in every situation, every type of life situation. It also carries over to how we treat those around us. And are we asking for help of our community? Are we too prideful? Does it show that we're weak and we're scared, and that isn't something that we want to show, or we can't go fast enough bailing with the buckets on our own? We're not capable, and that would hurt us. It's important that we learn the lesson that when we first get into trouble, we turn around and we ask for help. Later on in these chapters is when Jesus says, there's somebody who's asking him in 11 to teach them to pray as John taught his disciples to pray. And this is when he brings out the Lord's Prayer. He is responding because John the Baptist's disciples were taught how to pray. And Jesus is being asked to give instructions specifically how to pray here. And he gives that, our Father who art in heaven. So see God for who he is and put him in the right place. Hallowed be thy name. I am in awe of you and your name and everything that you stand for. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. So whatever it is that comes from this conversation, it needs to be for your kingdom. I'm there. I'm down for this. I'm going to work with you to bring your kingdom and to make sure that your will is done and not mine. On earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. I trust you to feed me. I trust you like Elijah trusted you to let the ravens feed him. And forgive us our trespasses or our debts as we forgive those who trespass against us. So I am asking this in all humility that I suck and I make mistakes and I've hurt other people, and I please help me to make that right. But I want to forgive other people in the same measure that you forgive me. For thine, and then we've added, for thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory and forever. Amen. Jesus gave us this formula on how to pray, on how to approach him. You are God. You are amazing. I recognize who you are. I see you in the boat. I know who you are there. And I'm going to ask for help. It's okay that I'm not up to the task because you are. And I'm going to, if it's your will that this ship goes down, I'm going to go with it and I'm going to trust you. But if it's your will to calm the storm and help me bail this boat, then that's what I'm going to do. Just tell me what to do. Jesus goes on after giving this form he says about prayer, be persistent. Be persistent. Sometimes God doesn't answer right away. Sometimes it doesn't look like he answered right away, but he's working on it, and you need to continue to reach to him. This is where Jesus says, ask and ye shall receive, seek and ye shall find, knock and it will open. Prayer is the same as asking for help. It is recognizing in this way that we are recognizing who Jesus is, who God is. We have them in the right position in our lives, and we are seeking help. The boat is crazy important for how we live our lives and how we ask for help and how we become healed. We do not become healed out of our own efforts. We do not become healed by going to a doctor and having them do their own effort or draw from some other place, some other evil knowledge or evil source of power. We are healed by God. We are healed by this formula. I know who you are, your kingdom, your will. Please forgive me. I'm here, I'm listening, whatever it is for your kingdom and your will, let's get it done. But I need help. I'm not afraid to ask you. I'm not worried to wake you up and bother you because I know that you want me to bother you. And I'm not going to try and do it on my own because I know that I can't. I can only do it with you. That's the message. Really, really cool. And I had to learn this in college. I joined a sorority, Delta Zeta, and the big takeaway that I had, I came away with some really good friends, but the big takeaway I learned was that I had to ask for help. I had to delegate. I couldn't do it all myself. And it was a vehicle that God used to open up the rest of my life, that I wasn't going to try to do things all on my own. It's a lesson that I continue to have to learn. I learned it in giving to other people and doing philanthropy, but I sometimes find that I haven't learned it in my health, or I haven't learned it in my family. And so it's something that we have to continually revisit. That dark night with the wind blaring and being terrified that the boat is about to sink, and realizing that Jesus is asleep right behind us. And if we would just say, hey, can you help? And use our faith. Jesus is scolding us when we wait so long. O ye of little faith, you had such little faith in me that I could just help you. You tried to do it on your own, or you didn't want to bother me. Let's not keep trying to learn this lesson. Let's learn it once and for all. I pray that God is blessing you today, and I look forward, I hope, as you do, to digging into the next chapters. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share with a friend. And I'm always interested in hearing what God is laying on your heart. So drop me a rating or review, or join the conversation on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube at Dawn Combs Really.